Hello everyone, today we are going to study matter in our surrounding. This video is made by Swami Vivekananda English Public School, and today is the second lecture of this chapter, which is the first chapter of class 9th science. So we have studied the nature of matter. There are two natures of matter. The first is matter is made up of particles, and the particles of matter are very teeny. It is small beyond our imagination. And we have studied in our previous lecture that there are four characteristics of matter. The four characteristics of matter are: matter is made, particles of matter have a space between them. The second characteristic is the particles of matter have a strong intermolecular force, means it has the force of attraction. Its particles of matter attract each other. The next characteristic of matter is particles of matter are continuously moving due to the kinetic energy, which is the product, which is the next step of thermal energy in it. Okay, now moving forward in this lecture. First question from lecture 1. Which type of intermolecular force are found in solid, liquid and gas? Please pause the video and answer this. The answer of this question will be solid have most strongest intermolecular force, while liquid has moderate and gas have very low level of intermolecular force. This is the very short summary of the characteristics of classification of matter, which we have studied in our lecture 1. Now moving forward for our second lecture. In this lecture we are going to study the conversion of matter from solid to liquid to gas, or solid to gas, or gas to solid in this form, vice versa. Solid, liquid and gas. Solid to liquid conversion is known as fusion, which is due to increasing in temperature. Here temperature increase. And liquid to gas conversion is known as vaporization. While liquid to solid conversion is known as liquid to solid condensation. Solidification. Solidification or freezing. And gas to liquid conversion is known as condensation. While gas to solid conversion is known as sublimation. and solid to gas is also known as sublimation. This line, solid to liquid to gas conversion, is due to increasing in temperature and decreasing in pressure. Okay, while gas to liquid to solid conversion is due to decrease in temperature and increase in pressure. You must have seen the conversion of ice to water and water to water vapor. You all have seen that while conversion of ice to water, we increase the temperature, such as this example. Okay, solid to liquid needs increase in temperature. Here, to convert ice to water, we increase temperature. Similar to this, we increase temperature to convert solid to liquid. And same as that, water to gas conversion, water to water vapor conversion needs increase in temperature. Water vapor. Okay, you all have boiled water. Okay, boiling water needs increase in temperature, and that boiling cause the water liquid converts into water vapor. Here you all have seen this. First we will study what is the definition of sublimation. The process of conversion of solid into gas or vice versa is known as sublimation. Like you all have seen the example of camphor. Camphor directly turns into gas from solid. Camphor converts solid into gas. Okay, this is the example of sublimation. Now we will study vaporization. What is vaporization? Okay, and we will also see difference between evaporation and vaporization. Most of you will be confused between evaporation and vaporization. Let's clear our doubt. Vaporization is a spontaneous process of conversion of liquid into gas is known as vaporization. It is always takes place at boiling point. Vaporization happens at boiling point. Or we can also say in other word that vaporization is dependent on boiling point. Now talking about evaporation. Evaporation means it is also the transfer of liquid into gas. Okay, transfer of liquid into gas. But the only difference between vaporization and evaporation is it is independent of temperature. It is independent of temperature. Evaporation happens at any temperature. Like you have seen that our wet cloth, okay, हमारा सूखा कपड़ा होता है, सूखा कपड़ा अगर भिंगा रहते हैं या धोते हैं कपड़ा को, उसे जब हम मतलब कि कहीं पसारते हैं, उसे गर्म करने की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ती है, भले तो ठंड के समय की ही क्यों ना हो, वो जैसी टेम्परेचर हो उसी को मेंटेन करके वो सूख जाता है कपड़ा। दैट इज द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इवेपोरेशन। ओके, देयर आर 4 factors of evaporation on which evaporation depends. Okay, the 4 factors of evaporation are factors of evaporation. The first factor of evaporation is evaporation increase first factor when increase in temperature ये ना अच्छा अच्छा एक बार रुकिए ना, फिर से इवेपोरेशन का EVAPOURATION। अच्छा, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी द फैक्टर्स ऑफ इवेपोरेशन। Evaporation increases with increase in temperature. When temperature increase, evaporation is also increase. Okay, the second is decrease in humidity. When humidity decrease, evaporation increase. When humidity increase, then evaporation decrease. That is, evaporation and humidity is inversely proportional. The third is increase in wind speed. As the wind speed increase, the evaporation also increase. Like you all have seen that when we put wet cloth in sunlight, okay, or when there is no sunlight, also when there is wind speed is high, our cloth get unwet very fast. Okay, and the fourth is increase in surface area. जब हम देखते हैं कि कपड़ा को सुखाते हैं, ओके, और जब कपड़ा पूरा हम लोग वैसे बिना पसारे पूरा खोले हुए वैसे ही पसार देते हैं, जैसे कि ये कोई कपड़ा भींगा हुआ कपड़ा है, ठीक है, इसे भिंगाएंगे वैसे ही रख देंगे कहीं पे, तो ये जल्दी नहीं सूखेगा। और अगर इसे फैला कर रखेंगे, इसका सरफेस एरिया बढ़ा देंगे हम, इस पर टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा एक्ट करेगा, इस पर जो ये जो है ह्यूमिडिटी जो इसके चारों ओर का ऐसे रखेंगे तो इसमें ह्यूमिडिटी जो है ज़्यादा ह्यूमिडिटी रहेगा, खोल देंगे तो ह्यूमिडिटी इसका कम हो जाएगा, ह्यूमिडिटी कम होगा, इवेपोरेशन ज़्यादा होगा। विंड स्पीड, अगर इसे कम करके रखेंगे तो ये कम वॉल्यूम ऑफ विंड वो कैप्चर करेगा ये, बट इसे पूरा खोल देंगे, सरफेस एरिया इंक्रीज हो गया तो ये विंड भी ज़्यादा कैप्चर करेगा। सो वी कैन से दैट evaporation increase with increase in surface area. Okay, for our better understanding and easy to remember, we can study this like this: evaporation is directly proportional to temperature, is directly proportional to wind speed. Evaporation is directly proportional to surface area and it is inversely proportional to evaporation is inversely proportional to humidity. Humidity is the amount of water molecules present in air, that is humidity. अगर हमारा जो एयर है पूरा सूखा हुआ रहेगा तो इवेपोरेशन वो ज़्यादा पानी खींचने का चाहेगा, जो कि हाई कॉन्सेंट्रेशन टू लो कॉन्सेंट्रेशन जाता है कोई भी चीज़, ठीक है। Till now, you all have studied that the SI unit of temperature, okay. I am giving four options to you. Let's choose one. 3 options to you. Degree Celsius, Fahrenheit, third is Kelvin, and fourth is none of these. Okay, let's pause the video and answer this. You all have, most of you have answered Celsius. Degree Celsius is the SI unit of temperature, but it is wrong. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Now we are here looking that temperature have 3 units: Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. When to use these 3, and how to convert degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius, or vice versa with Kelvin. Now we are going to study and learn of formula for this. Fahrenheit minus 32 by 180 is equal to degree Celsius by 100 is equal to Kelvin plus 273 by 100. This is our formula from which we can convert degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, Celsius to Kelvin, Kelvin to Celsius, or Fahrenheit to Kelvin and Kelvin to Fahrenheit. Okay, if you have to change Fahrenheit to Kelvin, okay, then forget this and equal this and this. Okay, when you have to convert Celsius to Kelvin, then degree Celsius by 100 is equal to Kelvin plus 273 by 100. This 100 and this 100 get cancelled. Here is your short formula. And the short formula for Fahrenheit and Celsius: Fahrenheit minus 32 by 180 is equal to degree Celsius by 100. 10 cancelled. Okay, 10 on half, 5 and 18 becomes 9. This formula becomes Fahrenheit minus 32 is equal to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, or you can say degree Celsius is equal to 5 by 9 into Fahrenheit minus 32. Practice this, and if you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt in comment below. Now one very important topic from your chapter is latent heat. Latent heat. We can also say it as maximum heat. Latent heat is the in a particular state. In a particular state, a substance has a limited ability to hold temperature or energy, we can say. That maximum amount of heat it can hold in that state is known as latent heat capacity. Latent heat capacity. For example, ice. We all have seen ice. Okay, the latent ice melts. Okay, ice melt at ice melt at 0 degree Celsius. Okay, when we gives 0 degree Celsius heat to ice, it will start melting. This is the maximum temperature. It can, the ice can exist itself in the form of solid. Okay, so 0 degree Celsius is the latent heat, the maximum heat ice can hold in its solid state. Similar to that, water starts evaporating or evaporating at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, 100 degrees Celsius is the maximum heat water can hold. Okay, or H2O molecule can hold. 100 degrees Celsius is the maximum heat or energy H2O molecule can hold in its liquid state. So 100 degrees Celsius is the latent heat for water. Similar to this, all the matters have their own latent heat. It's not same for all, it is different for all. Now, you all have studied in classification of matter that matter have 5 particles. Sorry, matter have 5 types on the basis of physical nature. On the basis of chemical nature, it is of 3 types: element, compound, and mixture, which we will study in our next chapter. But in this chapter, we are studying about the physical nature of matter. It is of 5 types: solid, liquid, gas, Bose-Einstein condensate, and plasma-Einstein. We all have studied solid, liquid, and gas types in our lecture 1, and here we will study plasma-Einstein and Bose-Einstein condensate. First, let's study plasma-Einstein. Plasma state of matter. Plasma state of matter. Plasma state is very rare. Okay, this is very rare matter. Commonly we don't see anything of plasma. It is found in ionosphere of Earth. Ionosphere of Earth. Ionosphere of Earth, and on the stars we see, on the celestial bodies we found plasma. Okay, plasma is found on commonly 2 places: ionosphere of Earth and on stars. You all will be very surprised to know that the brightness of a star and sun is due to this plasma state of matter. Okay, stars and sun glow due to plasma found in them. Found in it. Okay, a star and sun glows due to plasma found in it, and the ionosphere and stars contains plasma state of matter. But we will study how plasma is made. You all will study a structure of atom in class 9th chapter 4 science. Okay, but we will take a very small recap of this chapter. This is an atom. Okay, atom consists of nucleus, and in that nucleus there is proton and neutron. Okay, electron is in the outer shell which is moving. Okay, in that nucleus we are studying plasma. Plasma, when atoms or molecules gets tremendous heat, It's electron which is in the outer shell, which is moving. Okay, electron acquires enough kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy due to motion. When atoms or molecules get tremendous heat, when we hit anything, the kinetic energy increases. So when atoms and molecules get tremendous heat, electron acquire enough kinetic energy to break the attraction barrier. Okay, we all have studied that particles of matter have attraction, the force of attraction between them, attract each other. Okay, so the attraction barrier is broken by this tremendous heat. Okay, due to this kinetic energy that is the result of tremendous heat. The electron acquires enough kinetic energy to break the attraction barrier. Okay, attraction barrier is broken. This nucleus, all the nucleus is breaked from the electrons is detached from nucleus, and that nucleus without electron is known as plasma. Okay, in short recap we can say that जब ये जो एटम है, ठीक है, इसके बीच में न्यूक्लियस होता है और ये न्यूक्लियस जो है प्रोटॉन और न्यूट्रॉन को होल्ड करता है, और इस न्यूक्लियस के बाहर इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है जो कि मूवेबल पार्ट होता है एटम का. जब हम हीट करते हैं किसी भी एटम को, लेट्स हीट इट. ओके, जब हीट करते हैं हम किसी भी एटम को, तो ये जो हीट करने पे इसमें काइनेटिक एनर्जी पैदा होता है. ये काइनेटिक एनर्जी के कारण इसका जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन होता है, किसी भी चीज़ को हम हीट करते हैं वो टूटने का प्रयास करता है, तो ये जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी इसमें बढ़ता है, इसके कारण ये डीअटैच हो जाता है न्यूक्लियस से. इलेक्ट्रॉन न्यूक्लियस से डीअटैच हो जाता है और ये न्यूक्लियस से जो मैटर बनता है विदाउट इलेक्ट्रॉन इज नॉन एज प्लाज्मा स्टेट. ओके, coming to the Bose-Einstein condensate, which is the fifth and last state of matter. Bose-Einstein condensate was first discovered by S.N. Bose. Okay, Bose-Einstein condensate. In 1920, okay, Indian scientist S.N. Bose, okay, S.N. Bose, the name seems to be Indian. S.N. Bose calculated the fifth state of matter, but S.N. Bose didn't get much popularity at that time when he calculated this fifth state of matter. The popularity was gained by Sir Albert Einstein. Okay, Einstein. Later, Einstein. If you have any doubt, you can clear your doubt in comment below. We will definitely try to answer all your doubts. Thanks.